Iran and Russia looking for a new world order, as you can see linked up on Mark13News.com for January 23rd, 2023, and the article says that the sanctions imposed by the West on both Russia and Iran seem to be creating a common ground between the two countries to boost their ties and lay the groundwork for a new multipolar world order in the process. And even though Russia and Iran are part of the Ezekiel 38 Confederacy, which is now formulating, it's really the Kenites on the multipolar end of the globalist spectrum rising up against the unipolarist Kenites, who for the most part control the left-right paradigm symbolized by Ammon and Moab, which is really Stalinism and Trotskyism, because remember, Moab burned the bones of the king of Edom into lime, as it's written in Amos chapter 2 verse 1, and it was the Bolshevik Revolution and the murder of Tsar Nicholas II that brought about the Soviet Union, which is the second king of the North, as you can see pointed out in the Daniel 11 hypothesis on biblicalresearchlabs.com. The third king of the North is the Russian Federation, and at the woe of the fifth trumpet, the bear of Daniel chapter 7 will come into being, which is the fourth king of the North, which is the Ezekiel 38 Confederacy. It's also at that time the he-goat of Daniel chapter 8 will become the leopard of Daniel chapter 7, which is symbolic of the Kenites and their four hidden dynasties, furnishing the infrastructure of the so-called New World Order that will come into being once Satan and his angels get cast to earth at the woe of the fifth trumpet, Daniel's fourth beast being exclusively supernatural. The lion of Daniel chapter 7 is symbolic of the Christian nations up until the woe of the sixth trumpet, when Satan appears as the Antichrist, because that's when most Christians will begin to worship Satan instead of Christ, which is what Antichrist means. 2.5 months later, at the woe of the seventh trumpet, the true Christ will return, which is when the battles of Armageddon and Hamengog will transpire, two separate battles in two separate geographic locations that happen at the same time, with the Battle of Hamengog being when the Ezekiel 38 Confederacy gets taken out of commission, with the great hailstones written of in Ezekiel chapter 38 verse 22. The seventh trumpet being when all are changed into spiritual bodies, when the true Christ returns as King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And as the true Christ says in the last verse of Mark chapter 13, what I say unto you, I say unto all, watch.